Hi, welcome to Allergy Dragon. Today we're making persimmon cookies. Do you even know what persimmons are? Some people do, some people don't. It's an Asian fruit, and I actually have a couple here, obviously, since I'm using them. And it's actually an orange fruit, almost looks like an orange tomato. My daughter used to call them Halloween tomatoes. Of course, they do not taste like a tomato or like a pumpkin or anything like that. It's actually hard to describe the flavor of them. To me, it's kind of like a cross between an orange, a peach, and like an apricot all mixed up into one, if that makes any sense at all. But I really like them. And I love to make pudding with it and cookies. And this is like our new favorite cookie, and you know, it's cookie season. And if you're first time joining us, my name's Martha, and what I do is I'm a chef with celiac disease, and my daughter has 33 food allergies. So that's what I concentrate on, making sure that food is safe for us and trying to help others. So if you have any of those things and kind of interested, go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell. That way you'll get more content from me. And we're gonna go ahead and get ready to start making these cookies. I will have a link down in the description below to allergy-dragon.com, which will have all the recipe and all my substitutions that I use there, if you want to click that anytime. So our ingredients are as follows. I've got 2 cups of gluten-free flour blend. This flour blend happens to be namaste, and it does have xanthium gum in it. If you don't have a flour that has xanthium gum or a type of gum in it, you will need to add that in. I have 1 cup of sugar. I'm just using granulated sugar. You can use coconut sugar, whatever you want. I have half a cup of butter. I am using butter today. You can use spectrum organic shortening if you can't use butter. You're gonna need 1 cup of persimmon pulp. I go ahead and puree mine, and that's gonna take like 3 to 4 persimmons depending on how big they are. Sometimes 2 to 3, just really depends on how big they are. And I just pureed mine. And then we're gonna have half a teaspoon of salt. We have 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of clove, half a teaspoon of nutmeg. If you can eat cinnamon, I highly recommend half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I have to omit that for Kara. I have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and you're gonna need 1 egg. However, we're not using the regular egg, we're using a chia egg because Kara is allergic to those. What we're gonna be doing first is we're gonna get this ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and get my chia egg together here. So I got my chia egg together. I went ahead and put the water and the chia together and just mix it up a little bit and just let it sit, okay? Let it bloom is what they like to call it. And if you don't have a KitchenAid, that's fine, just use a regular mixer, but we're gonna go ahead and whip our butter together. We're gonna do what we call creaming. I'm gonna end up putting the sugar together and basically all of our liquid ingredients. Then I'll be adding the egg and then the seasonings and then the flour. When I whip the butter, I go ahead and I'm gonna scrape the bowl once. Make sure I get everything down. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put the sugar in. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the persimmon in. We're gonna go ahead and start those low. I'm gonna go ahead and put my vanilla in. Put the vanilla, and then I'm gonna put my egg in. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put my seasonings in, my baking soda. I'm gonna add half the flour now. I'm gonna scrape the bowl before I add the rest of the flour in there. And the good thing about the gluten-free flour blend is you don't have to worry about your gluten going away because you're making the gluten. You're not going to kill the elasticity of your dough. So that's the good thing as I'm playing. Okay. And right before it gets completely incorporated, we're going to go ahead and scrape this out of the bowls again. Okay. Okay, we basically whip it until there's no more lumps. And it's okay to be a little lumpy, you just don't want too big of chunks of butter because with the gluten-free batter, it has a tendency to make it more a crispy cookie than a fluffy cookie. And that's what we're going for. Now these cookies aren't too pretty, so we're gonna be making a glaze for them, and we'll do that once we get them put in the oven. We're gonna get ready to scoop these here in just a minute. Okay then, hopefully we can see that the batter is pretty sticky basically, and it is pretty smooth, but it's pretty sticky, very dough-like, almost something like, you know, it's a cookie batter, so it's a little bit thicker. Okay, then I have my oven set at 350 degrees. We're gonna cook them for about 13 to 16 minutes, depending on your elevation and your oven cook time. And we have parchment, you know, or silicone mats, however you have on your sheet pans. And I'm using a scoop. And we're just going to go ahead and scoop these out. Obviously, if you make smaller cookies, you're going to cook them a little bit less time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and scoop the rest of these and then put them in the oven. Okay, so the next step for our cookies, it makes them a little bit prettier and enhances the flavor a little bit, is we're going to make an orange glaze. For the orange glaze, what you're going to need is 2 cups of confectioner's sugar, which I have here. I have 1 teaspoon of orange zest in here. If you'd like a little bit more orange or that flavor or that kind of thing, you can go ahead and of course up that, but I don't like it to overpower. I have 2 tablespoons of just regular orange juice. And I have about 3 to 4 tablespoons of water. You may have to put a little bit less or a little bit more in. Depends on how thick you like your glaze. The next part's easy. We're just going to mix this all up together. I'm going to go ahead and put my orange zest in here. Go ahead and put the orange juice. And just kind of mix it real easy. It's not like whipping it, whipping it good. And it just takes some time. Be gentle. If not, it goes everywhere. And then I'm going to go ahead and start adding some more water in. I only put about half of it in there as the orange juice has started to get thicker. I just make a well and kind of go in and out. A lot of people are scared of glazes and I don't know why. It's just really, it could be milk and powdered sugar or confectioner's sugar as you put it. It could be juice and confectioner's sugar. It's just very simple, very easy way to make an icing. And then I'm just going to keep mixing this. Now, it's predominantly put together. As you can see, there's just a couple of thick chunks. And I like my glaze to be pretty thick, so just make sure that all of the lumps are gone. It's pretty much all you're doing, so that's it. I'm not going to put any more water in it. So now we're just going to let this sit. We're going to be waiting for the cookies to cool off, and then we can put the glaze on there, and they'll be pretty and yummy. So for this recipe, you end up with about 18 cookies if you're doing about a 2-ounce scoop, which is what I used. This is only the first sheet pan of the cookies. Let them cool to room temperature. Then I usually just put them on a sheet, parchment paper, or if you have a rack, go ahead and use that. And then I just put a spoonful of glaze on each one. So not quite a full spoonful, but put them on there. And you want it to be a little bit warm so it kind of like melts over the cookies. You probably end up hearing my neighbors upstairs walking, so sorry about that. It's the joys of YouTube. It's okay to be messy, no big deal. Okay, generally I would let these sit another 15-20 minutes before I would move them to another container or let them finish cooling and before I would eat them. But since it's a video and I'm hungry, you should really smell my kitchen. It's really awesome. It smells like a warm mixture of fall, basically, or Christmas, however you're gonna look at it. So I'm going to grab one of these cookies, and they're just so good and cakey. Really just awesome. I'm sorry, yeah. I'm not sorry. The glaze just has a hint of orange and just really makes the rest of those spices pop in your mouth. It's just awesome. Persimmon cookies, what do you think? Yes or no? Let me know down in the comments below. Hope this recipe helps you tame your allergy dragon. If you like this video, go ahead and hit like for me, subscribe and ring the bell. That way you get more content from me. And all my links will be down in the description below. You can follow me on social media there. I will see you. Bye.